this is the first time it's happened that we've known about it. And that's really important. Knowing means we can consciously collaborate, so that's what we're up to. So again, we say for much of human history, technology has far outdistanced the vision of what to do with it. In fact, that's part of what's coming due now. We're going to put mackerel genes in this tomato because we're boys, unsupervised by Venus, and we can. And so now it says, how about reversing it? How about let's come up with the desirable world and create the technology that serves that. And that's very much what's happening. And it's also that model of let Mars be dedicated to Venus, to intimacy and beauty and collaboration. Let Uranus be dedicated to Neptune, higher octave of Venus, ingenuity to the whole well-being, the art form of heroism. And it's that there is a kind of perfection to this exhilarating adventure. I love, a friend of mine had, political moment, as there have been many in this country, of like, oh, no, who called up and said, if we're not having fun, we're just not serious enough, and which is, again, the trickster model, which is really true, playful. So what I aspire to do with myself and with others, is let's aspire to move our emotional default setting from whatever it is, like, to woof woof, want to play. And it invites, again, the art form of inviting the best of people to participate. And I realize, in our addressing issues of tyranny, which is a lot of what you're bringing up, when we face off, we feed tyranny. If we hate it, we feed it. How to spiral with that, how to, again, whatever we judge in someone, we are inviting the least evolved part of ourselves and the least evolved part of them to dance, and it's never pretty. We're all working on it, and I think the degree of difficulty gets ramped up. We go, cool, I'm cool at that level. I used to use all my frequent flyer miles to upgrade to business class so I could talk to warmongers. It was really useful. So Cisco Systems, and when did you get your contracts for Iraq? And it's like, 2002. It's like, bastards. But by the end of that journey, he was quitting and opening a bed and breakfast. We go, okay, that's good, and then degree of difficulty, Northrop Grumman, vice president, war guy. Yeah. But still, I go, isn't really the only solution to terrorism a wonderful life for all children? Every single warmonger, general, bombing person said, yeah. I like to say all wars are a failure of imagination, and they go, no. And I go, well, this one is, the Iraq War, and they go, yeah, you're right. And I go, well, let's argue speculatively later. Meanwhile, let's deal with this. And the Mars-Venus, I like to say, underneath Mordor in this country, Atlantis is rising. The esoteric structure, the architecture of Washington, D.C. was really placed there to invite in reverence for life at a crucial moment. And underneath Iraq is Inanna. Where there's more Mars by itself, we want to invite in Inanna, Venus. Art, intimacy, cultural exchange, people-to-people diplomacy. And again, that idea of, bridges, cross-pollination, that it wants to happen, this global community of the best of all traditions invited to dance and be applied to this age of, great ingenuity. But so I like to say that Uranus says to each one of us, we'll connect you to the coolest things possible, and all I want from you is willingness. And this is where we break the spell of our own narcissistic, tragic, romantic melancholy, because I like to say expectation is the partner of disappointment. Okay. But willingness is the dance partner of life. So it's a small verbal distinction, but a huge energetic difference. If we go expecting, so we say that which makes us passive is toxic. That which makes us active is tonic. Now we get to prediction versus prophecy. If prediction makes us passive, it's toxic, and it implies a lack of belief in democracy. And I'm not voting for that one, although it's complex and there's great predictors, and we don't want to be weenies either. Uranus square Pluto, like, oh my God, the structure's coming down, and there will be much death, and food dependent on oil, and already, huge food shortage, and all of that. We need the magic and the pragmatism wedded, or it is horrific, and there is much, now, and our empathy and our kinship. And the beauty of the art of, I think wherever One of the unfair secrets about Neptune and Pisces in the 12th house is that the invaded, colonized, oppressed country has the medicine the oppressor really needs. You know, indigenous soul of this country, carried by Native Americans, carried by black people in America, invading Iraq. We really need what the Middle East has. In the Grail legend, you know, Percival can only attain the Grail and restore the waters of life when he finds his secret black Islamic twin brother, Fairfaz. And only together can they do this cool thing, you know, and we go, oh. So again, our mythological literacy says it's really, really useful now. You know, it really does guide us.